A massive, ancient warship drifts through the cosmic battlefield, its design blending elements of advanced technology with a rugged, battle-worn aesthetic. The ship has an unusual triangular or wedge-like shape, with intricate mechanical details, armored plating, and deep scars from past battles. It appears to have been lost for centuries, until now. The backdrop is a dramatic cosmic expanse, with fiery nebulae, distant stars, and a habitable planet visible in the distance. Swarms of smaller starfighters accompany the massive vessel, hinting at a new and powerful force returning to reshape the galaxy. Once thought to be destroyed, this legendary warship has reemerged as an unstoppable superweapon. Its systems glow with mysterious energy, and its return has sent shockwaves throughout the universe. The fate of entire civilizations will be decided by this ship's resurgence. Helm: plot a course to the anomaly. Tactical: maintain combat readiness. Commander Hayes: prepare a boarding team. Full hazard protocols. Hayes hesitated. Captain, command explicitly ordered. I'm well aware of our orders, Commander, Eliza cut in. But in 18 hours, the Corvins will be on top of us, and we'll have nowhere to run. If there's even a chance this derelict can give us an edge, I'm taking it. 4 hours later, the Dauntless drifted silently toward the massive vessel, now clearly visible through the viewport. It was unlike anything Eliza had ever seen, an elongated structure with an organic, almost skeletal design. No visible propulsion systems, weapons emplacements, or even external lighting. Just a dark, imposing presence against the colorful backdrop of the nebula. Still no response to hails on any frequency. Communications reported. No signs of active power systems or life support. Added Park. But Captain, the hull composition is extraordinary. It's absorbing our sensor scans rather than reflecting them. I've never seen material like this before. Eliza's boarding team, led by Hayes, reported ready in the shuttle bay. She made the decision. You have clearance to board. Proceed with caution and maintain constant communication. The shuttle departed, looking tiny against the enormous vessel. Eliza watched on the tactical display as it approached a section that appeared to be an entry point, though whether it was a docking bay or a breach in the hull was unclear. Captain, Hayes' voice crackled through the comm. We found what looks like an airlock, but there's no obvious mechanism to open it. A pause. Wait, something's happening. Eliza leaned forward. Report, Commander. The airlock. It's opening on its own. We didn't do anything. It's just responding to our presence. A chill ran down Eliza's spine. Fall back to the shuttle. Negative, Captain. There's no sign of hostility. The ship appears to be welcoming us. Against her better judgment, Eliza allowed the boarding to proceed. The team's helmet cameras transmitted images back to the Dauntless. Vast, cathedral-like chambers with machinery unlike any human or Corvin design. No sharp angles or utilitarian construction. Everything flowed together in a seamless blend of technology and artistry. Environment is stable, Hayes reported. Gravity at 0.9 Earth standard. Atmosphere. Breathable, though stale. This ship has been dormant for a long time, Captain. As the team advanced deeper into the vessel, more systems began activating, subtle lighting illuminating their path, doors opening before them. Not threatening, but undeniably responsive to their presence. It's like the ship is waking up, whispered one of the engineers. They found what appeared to be the bridge, a circular chamber dominated by a single chair-like structure in the center, surrounded by flowing, organic-looking control interfaces. When Hayes approached the central chair, the entire room hummed to life. Holographic displays blossomed around the chair, showing star charts and what looked like ship schematics. Captain, Hayes breathed. I think the ship wants someone to sit in the chair. Before Eliza could respond, the Dauntless's tactical officer cut in urgently. Captain, multiple Corvin signatures dropping out of FTL. Battle group approaching fast. They've found us. Get back to the shuttle immediately, Eliza ordered. "We're leaving." But Hayes was transfixed by the chair. "Captain, I think this ship can help us. It's responding to us. It's—" The transmission cut out as the first Corvin salvos struck the Dauntless's already weakened shields. "Hayes. Commander Hayes, respond," Eliza shouted. The bridge erupted into activity as the crew prepared for battle. But they all knew the truth. They were outgunned and outnumbered. This would be their last stand. Then something impossible happened. The derelict ship began to move. Without any visible propulsion, it glided out of the nebula's embrace and positioned itself between the Dauntless and the approaching Corvin fleet. Energy readings spiked across all sensors as systems throughout the ancient vessel surged to life. "Captain," Park gasped, "the derelict is powering up weapons systems. Configuration unknown, but the energy output it's off the charts." The lead Corvin warship fired a barrage of plasma torpedoes. Before Eliza could even order evasive maneuvers, the derelict ship emitted a pulse of energy that rippled through space. The torpedoes simply disappeared. Not detonated or deflected, erased from existence. What the hell just happened? Eliza demanded. No one had an answer. And there was no time to find one as the mysterious vessel launched its counterattack. Beams of coherent light, far more precise and powerful than any laser technology known to humanity, lanced out and carved through the Corvin ships with surgical precision. Not destroying them outright, but methodically disabling their weapons, engines, and communications. In less than 5 minutes, the entire Corvin battle group was drifting, disabled but largely intact. Eliza stared at the tactical display in disbelief. "Get me Commander Hayes," she finally managed. The comm crackled to life. Hayes' voice came through, sounding oddly distant. "Captain, you need to come aboard. Now. Just you." "Commander, what's happening over there?" "What did you do?" "I didn't do anything, Captain. The ship did. Or rather, we did. Together." A pause. I sat in the chair, and, Eliza, this ship isn't just a vessel. It's alive, sentient, and it's been waiting for us for a very long time. 6 hours later, Eliza sat in the central chair of the alien vessel, surrounded by holographic interfaces that responded to her thoughts more than her movements. Hayes and the boarding team had returned to the Dauntless, leaving her alone with the ship, though alone wasn't quite the right word. The ship didn't communicate in words exactly. It was more like impressions, emotions, and images flowing directly into her mind. Not invasive, but inviting. Sharing rather than demanding. She had learned that the vessel, which she had begun thinking of as the Spectre, was indeed sentient, though not in a way humans typically understood consciousness. It had been constructed by a species long extinct, designed to evolve, to learn, to grow. And it had been drifting, dormant but aware, waiting for compatible organic life to bond with. As Eliza explored this unprecedented partnership, she realized the Spectre was letting her access its capabilities gradually, careful not to overwhelm her human mind. But what she had seen already was staggering. Weapons that manipulated fundamental forces, defensive systems that existed partially in other dimensions, propulsion that didn't so much move through space as it rearranged space itself. The Corvin ships had been disabled with the equivalent of a gentle warning tap. The Spectre was capable of so much more. In that moment, Eliza understood that the war had changed. Humanity was no longer fighting for survival. They were on the cusp of a new era. And she, through a chance discovery and a bold decision, would be the one to guide them into it. The Spectre pulsed around her, almost like a heartbeat, as if confirming her thoughts. Together, they turned their attention toward Earth, toward home, and toward the future neither of them could have imagined alone. The tide turns. Admiral Terrence Blackwood of Earth Fleet Command was not a man easily impressed. 3 decades of military service had hardened him against surprise, and the war with the Corvin Collective had only reinforced his pragmatic outlook. Yet, as he stood in the observation deck of Jupiter Station, watching the approach of Captain Reeves' small flotilla, led by a vessel unlike anything humanity had ever constructed. Even he could not suppress a flicker of wonder. "It doesn't make any sense," muttered Dr. Abernathy, the fleet's chief xenotechnologist. "Our scans can barely penetrate its hull. The power readings are off the charts, but there's no radiation signature, no heat bloom, nothing to indicate a conventional power source." Admiral Blackwood's wonder quickly gave way to suspicion. "And Reeves claims this ship just chose her, decided to help us fight the Corvins." "That's her report, sir." "I don't like it. For all we know, this could be some kind of Trojan horse. The Corvins might have planted it, knowing we'd be desperate enough to bring unknown technology right to our doorstep." Dr. Abernathy adjusted her glasses. "With respect, Admiral, if the Corvins possessed technology this advanced, we'd have lost the war already." The communications officer interrupted their discussion. "Sir, Captain Reeves is requesting permission to dock. She's aboard the alien vessel, not the Dauntless." Blackwood's frown deepened. "Granted. And assemble a full security detail. I want that ship quarantined until we understand exactly what we're dealing with." 90 minutes later, Eliza Reeves stood before the hastily assembled military council in Jupiter Station's secure conference room. She looked different, standing straighter, speaking with a quiet confidence that bordered on serenity. It made Blackwood uneasy. "This vessel, which I've designated the Spectre, represents technology centuries beyond our own," she explained. "But more importantly, it's sentient, not like our AIs. Something deeper, more integrated. It doesn't just have programming. It has purpose. And that purpose conveniently aligns with helping humanity win our war." Blackwood challenged. Eliza met his gaze evenly. "The Spectre was created by a species that valued symbiosis, Admiral. It was designed to seek out compatible organic partners and evolve alongside them. It's been drifting for millennia, waiting for the right match. That happens to be us." "Captain," interjected General Santos, "you understand our concerns. You disappear into the Sagan Nebula against direct orders, then return with a miracle ship that only responds to you. It sounds less like first contact and more like indoctrination." Eliza finished for him. "I've had the same thought, General. I've been thoroughly examined by medical. Brain scans, psychological profiles, all normal. I'm still me. The Spectre doesn't control me. We communicate. We collaborate." Dr. Abernathy leaned forward. "And how exactly does this communication work, Captain?" "It's difficult to explain. Not telepathy, exactly. More like empathic impressions, images, concepts. The Spectre learns from me as I learn from it. Our relationship is evolving." Admiral Blackwood had heard enough. "Captain Reeves, I'm ordering a full inspection of this vessel. Our engineers will." "That won't be possible, Admiral," Eliza interrupted. "The Spectre won't allow anyone aboard without my presence, and it controls access to its systems. Any attempt to force entry or dismantle it would be unproductive." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Blackwood saw his authority being undermined, while Santos and the others recognized the uncomfortable truth. This ancient ship had chosen Eliza Reeves as its partner, and there was little they could do about it. "The Corvins will reach Saturn's orbit in less than a week," Eliza continued into the silence. "Their main fleet, over 30 capital ships. Earth's defenses won't hold against that kind of firepower. But with the Spectre, we have a chance, not just to defend, but to end this war." Blackwood's military pragmatism finally overrode his suspicion. "What exactly are you proposing, Captain?" "Give me 72 hours. Let me assemble a volunteer crew to work with the Spectre. Then we'll show you what this ship can really do." 3 days later, Eliza stood on what she now thought of as the Spectre's bridge, though it bore little resemblance to any human vessel's command center. Around her, 12 carefully selected officers, the best pilots, tacticians, and engineers from across the fleet, were positioned at stations that had formed specifically for them. adapting to human ergonomics while maintaining the flowing, organic aesthetic of the ship's design. "How are we doing?" she asked, addressing both her human crew and the ship itself. Lieutenant Maya Chen, their operations specialist, looked up from her console with a mix of awe and excitement. "It's incredible, Captain. The ship is teaching me. I can feel it guiding my understanding of the weapon systems. They're not even really weapons in the conventional sense. They're more like reality manipulation tools." Similar reports came from around the bridge. The Spectre was bonding with each crew member in their area of expertise, creating specialized neural interfaces tailored to human cognition. The process was faster than Eliza had expected. The ship was eager, almost enthusiastic about working with its new partners. Through her deeper connection, Eliza sensed something more. The Spectre had been alone for so long, drifting between the stars, that this new symbiosis brought it a kind of joy. It had been created for partnership, and now it was fulfilling its purpose once again. "Admiral Blackwood is hailing us," reported communications. Eliza nodded. On screen, the Admiral's stern face appeared before them. Behind him, Jupiter Station's command center was a flurry of activity as the human fleet prepared for what might be its final stand against the Corvin Armada. "The enemy fleet has accelerated," Blackwood informed them without preamble. "They'll reach our defensive line in under 6 hours. Whatever you're planning with that ship of yours, Captain, now's the time." "Understood, Admiral. We're ready." Blackwood hesitated, then added with unexpected sincerity, "Good hunting, Eliza. And thank you for your service." The screen went dark, and Eliza turned to her crew. "Battle stations. Let's show the Corvins what they're really up against." The Spectre moved with a grace that defied its massive size, accelerating at speeds that would have crushed human bodies if not for the ship's unique inertial management. Within hours, they had positioned themselves at the vanguard of Earth's defensive line, a thin barrier of human vessels stretched across the vast space between Jupiter and Saturn. When the Corvin fleet arrived, they came with the arrogance of conquerors. Their ships emerged from FTL in a perfect battle formation, weapons already charging. They had pursued humanity across 3 star systems, methodically destroying colonies and outposts. Now, with Earth itself within reach, they expected nothing less than total victory. What they didn't expect was the Spectre. As the first salvos of Corvin weaponry streaked across space, the ancient vessel responded. It didn't fire conventional weapons or ray shields. Instead, the fabric of space between the fleets rippled. The deadly barrage of plasma torpedoes and graviton beams simply ceased to exist, their energy harmlessly absorbed and redistributed. "All stations, report readiness," Eliza commanded, feeling the Spectre's eager anticipation mirroring her own. "Spatial manipulation systems online," Chen responded. "Target solutions acquired for all Corvin vessels. Dimensional phase technology ready," added Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez from Tactical. "The ship is suggesting a multi-layered approach. Disrupt their formation first, then isolate and neutralize their command vessels." Eliza nodded, perceiving the strategy through her link with the Spectre. "Execute." What followed would later be described in historical texts as the miracle at Saturn. To those watching from Earth's defensive fleet, it appeared as though reality itself turned against the Corvin Armada. Ships suddenly found themselves kilometers from their intended positions. Communication systems failed as signals became trapped in localized time dilation fields. Weapons misfired, propulsion systems reversed thrust, and defensive shields collapsed. Within the Spectre, Eliza and her crew worked in perfect harmony with the ship's consciousness, guiding its immense power with human intuition and tactical knowledge. They weren't just operating the technology. They were partnering with it, their minds linked in a dance of shared purpose. "Corvin flagship isolated," reported Rodriguez. "They're attempting to retreat." Through her connection with the Spectre, Eliza sensed more than data. She felt the fear emanating from the Corvin command ship, the desperate orders being given, the dawning realization that they faced something beyond their understanding. No retreat, she decided. Not until they surrender. The Spectre pulsed in agreement, a focused beam of coherent light. Not a weapon of destruction, but a carrier signal for something far more sophisticated, struck the Corvin flagship. Its engines died, its weapons went dormant, and every system aboard froze in stasis. Open a channel to all Corvin vessels, Eliza ordered. When the connection was established, she spoke with the combined authority of humanity and the ancient intelligence that had chosen to stand with them. This is Captain Eliza Reeves of Earth Fleet. Your flagship is at our mercy, and your fleet is outmatched. You came to our world seeking conquest, but you found something else entirely, a power older and greater than either of our civilizations. Surrender now, and we offer terms. Continue fighting, and we will not show the restraint we've demonstrated today. The response came quickly. The Corvin fleet, witnessing the effortless neutralization of their most powerful vessels, began powering down weapons systems. One by one, they transmitted surrender codes. The war was over. Humanity had won, not through superior numbers or firepower, but through a chance encounter with an ancient intelligence that had chosen them as worthy partners. In the aftermath, as the Spectre hovered majestically above Earth, a new guardian for humanity's homeworld, Eliza stood before the United Earth Council, explaining what she had learned about their remarkable ally. The Spectre isn't just a ship, she told them. It's a bridge to technologies we can barely comprehend, and to a network of similar vessels scattered throughout the galaxy. Its creators seeded these ships as a legacy, hoping they would find worthy successors. The Spectre chose us not because we're perfect, but because it sees potential in our capacity for growth, for innovation, for cooperation. And what does it want in return? Asked one counselor suspiciously. Eliza smiled. To explore, to learn, to evolve alongside us. Its creators believe that true advancement comes through symbiosis, different types of intelligence working together, each contributing unique perspectives. The Spectre doesn't want to control us or change us. It wants to journey with us. Admiral Blackwood, now one of the Spectre's strongest advocates, added, the ship has already shared technologies that will transform our civilization. Sustainable energy systems, medical advances, improved FTL travel. But it's doing so gradually, ensuring we understand each development before moving to the next. In the months that followed, more human crews trained to interface with the Spectre, learning its systems and forging their own connections with the ancient intelligence. Earth's scientists studied the principles behind its technology, making breakthroughs that would have taken centuries to achieve independently. And Eliza, still the Spectre's primary partner, contemplated the future that had opened before humanity. The war had brought them to the brink of extinction, but it had also led them to an unexpected ally, a ghost ship that had drifted through the cosmos for millennia, waiting for the right moment to reawaken. She stood on the observation deck, watching Earth rotate slowly below, and felt the Spectre's consciousness brush against her own, curious, supportive, almost affectionate in its own alien way. What next? She whispered, both to herself and to her partner. The answer came not in words, but in a shared vision. Stars beyond count, worlds unexplored, and civilizations waiting to be discovered. Not as conquerors or the conquered, but as explorers and diplomats, carrying forward the legacy of cooperation that had saved humanity and given an ancient intelligence new purpose. Together, they turned their gaze toward the stars and the limitless future they would build, one where the boundaries between human and machine, between creator and created, blurred into something greater than either could become alone.